India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Kurala. Coming up in the next hour. US President Donald Trump denounces Zelenskyy as a dictator. Zelenskyy hopes talks with visiting US envoy Keith Kellogg will be constructive. A sad day ahead for Israel as it prepares to receive bodies of youngest Gaza hostages. Hamas agrees to release all remaining hostages in single swap during next phase. South Korea's impeached Yoon Suk-yeol attends first criminal trial hearing over insurrection charges, terms insurrection probe illegal. First time MLA Rekha Gupta to script history as she takes oath as Chief Minister as Delhi's tryst with a woman at helm continues today. Men in blue to begin their Champions Trophy 2025 campaign as they face Bangladesh on Thursday. And on to the details now. US President Donald Trump denounced Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy as a dictator on Wednesday. Trump wrote on social media Truth, and I quote, "A dictator without elections. Zelenskyy better move fast or he's not going to have a country left," unquote. Trump also warned Zelenskyy that he had to move quickly to secure peace or risk losing his country, deepening a feud between the two leaders that has alarmed European officials. Trump doubled down on his criticism of the Ukrainian president, saying that he has done a terrible job and could have come to talks with Russia in Saudi Arabia if he had wanted to.
Biden never tried. Europe has failed to bring peace, and Zelenskyy probably maybe he wants to keep the gravy train going. I don't know what's the problem, but he hasn't been able. He's very upset that he wasn't invited. He could have come if he wanted to, but that he wasn't invited to Saudi Arabia.
In response, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha said no one could force his country to give in. Taking to microblogging site X, Sybiha wrote, and I quote, "We will defend our right to coexist." Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said on Wednesday that he is counting on unity and courage from his compatriots and pragmatism from the United States. He also said that it was important that the current visit to Ukraine by the US envoy for Russia and Ukraine, Keith Kellogg, be constructive.
I rely on Ukrainian unity, on our Ukrainian courage, on our relation with partners, on our European solidarity, and on America's pragmatism. Because America needs success just as much as we do. Success brings us together. Our meeting with General Kellogg is scheduled for tomorrow, and it is crucial for us that this meeting and overall cooperation with America is constructive.
Well, France hosted the second meeting to discuss Ukraine and European security on Wednesday with leaders of 19 countries, including Canada, with most taking part by video link. At the meeting, the leaders agreed that Ukraine's rights and European security concerns should be taken into account in any deal to end the Ukraine conflict. They stressed on carrying out all the responsibilities to ensure peace and security in Europe. They said robust and credible guarantees were needed to ensure a lasting deal, and European security concerns would need to be taken into account. Well, Greek Prime Minister on his part said Europe needs to wake up from the geopolitical and economic lethargy into which it has unfortunately fallen for some time.
Unfortunately, recent developments and the different view of things from the United States now oblige us not only to face the truth, but to move at a very high speed and implement decisions that we have been discussing for a long time. Whether we are talking about the establishment of a defense policy that will allow Europe to project different power itself without being permanently, completely dependent on the United States, a crucial issue for our country.
Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer will visit Washington next week amid other meetings aimed at bringing an end to Russia's war in Ukraine, ahead of which U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has said that Washington is engaging with all sides and that the next step is putting technical teams forward to start talking more details. And Akshay Dongre joins us for more on this. Well, Akshay, as the rift widens between Trump and Zelenskyy, what are the implications for the Russian-Ukraine conflict?
Well, the war that started between Ukraine and Russia was under the Biden administration. Clearly, it had support from Biden administration. We have seen that how billions of dollars have been spent by the US as far as keeping this war machine going in the Eastern Europe, and how Zelenskyy has also been able to carry on with the war with the support of the US government and the funding that came in from the US government side as well, along with the US funding. However, with the rift, as you have rightly questioned, widening between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelenskyy, these were signs that were there even before Donald Trump became president. He has been questioning the funding of this conflict that he has called unnecessary. He has called the deaths that have taken place in Eastern Europe unnecessary, and this war unnecessary and unwinnable as well. So clearly, the priorities of Donald Trump are very clear to pull back from this conflict. He has earlier as well during his first tenure showed isolationist policies, and as far as this war is concerned, Donald Trump has clarified that you cannot win a war against Russia, a country that has one of the largest stockpile of nuclear weapons in anywhere in the world, and you cannot force your way as far as negotiation is concerned. So clearly, Donald Trump seems to be on a side where he pulls back the support of the US as well as the funding, and without which the war cannot continue unless Europe agrees to pay a significant chunk of money that was coming in from the US and fills that vacuum, which seems unlikely because there are there are different segments that have sections that are voicing different opinions as far as the ongoing conflict is concerned. So it is highly unlikely that the conflict is going to continue. There has to be negotiation. That has been Donald Trump's opinion as well, and he has been calling for a settlement as far as the two rivals are concerned. So with this widening of rift and signs becoming clearer, the conflict might soon come to an end, and it might not be sounding good as far as Volodymyr Zelenskyy's political journey in Ukraine is concerned.
All right, Akshay, also, if we talk about Europe's reaction to this, to the American stance on Russia, now that leaders from France and UK also set to visit Washington, what can we expect there as far as Europe's reaction is concerned?
Well, for far too long, Europe has been dependent on the US as far as countering a country like Russia is concerned in the eastern part of the continent, and signs are quite clear that despite what Donald Trump says or does as far as be it funding of NATO, be it funding of wars such as the Ukraine-Russia war, Europe will require US support and assistance, whatever the cost may be, even if they have to significantly ramp up their spending as far as the NATO negotiations are concerned. The European countries will have to do that because the kind of support they have been getting in from US, it is highly unlikely that they will be able to generate it on their own. So as far as the dependency is concerned, it is likely to continue with the European powers likely to submit to the demands that have been raised by the US government as far as the exchange is concerned for security of Europe by the American allies as far as threats are concerned, because it's not just Russia right now. We have also the West Asian region, which has been constantly on the boil. You have tensions there among the European allies as well. There are wars such as the Armenia-Azerbaijan war that has been going on. So there are conflicts, though not that big as far as the European theatre is concerned. But when it comes to support for the European countries, they will have to seek the US assistance as far as these kind of threats are concerned. So they will have to, in fact, submit to the demands that are being raised by the US government.
All right, Akshay, thank you so much for all those insights. And moving on, Israel is preparing for an emotional and difficult day as the bodies of two of the youngest captives taken in the October 7th Hamas attack are set to return. The handover is expected on Thursday, marking a somber moment in the ongoing conflict. The bodies of Odette Lifshitz, a journalist and peace activist, and Shiri Bibas, along with her two children, Ariel and Kafir, are being returned to Israel. Kafir, just 8.5 months old at the time of his kidnapping, has become a heartbreaking symbol of the trauma caused on that fateful day. Oded Lifshitz and his wife Yocheved were known for their efforts to bring medical aid to Gaza. Yocheved was released in November 2023, but her husband and their community continue to be remembered for their advocacy.
A very difficult day for the state of Israel, a shocking day, a day of grief. We are bringing home 4 of our favorite hostages, fallen hostages. We hug the families, and the heart of an entire nation is torn. My heart is torn, yours too. And the heart of the whole world needs to break, because here we see who we are dealing with, what we are dealing with, what monsters. We are grieving, we are in pain, but we are also determined to ensure that something like this does not happen again.
Thursday's handover of bodies will be followed by a significant event on Saturday, the return of 6 living hostages. These hostages, including Elia Cohen, Tal Shoham, Omar Shem Tov, and Omer Venkat, are expected to be exchanged for hundreds of Palestinians. For many families, these steps bring both relief and pain as they continue to wait for the safe return of their loved ones.
My name is Ar Lifshitz, and I am from Kibbutz Nir Oz. My father and my mother kidnapped at the 7th of October. My mother released, my father still inside. And I hope they're going to come in the next deal.
As Israel prepares for the second phase of negotiations, plans are already in motion to discuss the return of around 60 more hostages, though it is feared that fewer than half of them may still be alive.
We will begin negotiations on second phase of the hostage deal. Israel is committed to our goal to ensure the release of all our hostages. We also committed to all the objectives of the war as were decided by the Security Cabinet.
Talks are also expected to cover the full withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza, a crucial step towards ending the ongoing conflict. Bureau Report, DD India. Well, the Amir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Ahmad Al Thani, held bilateral talks with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian during his visit to Tehran on Wednesday. Iranian President said that both countries emphasized the need for coordinated measures by Islamic nations to support the people of Gaza. Al Thani added that both leaders agreed the best way to resolve conflicts in the region is through constructive dialogue. Qatar, alongside the United States and Egypt, brokered a deal between Israel and Hamas that halted the 15-month-long conflict. And Arab leaders will gather in Saudi Arabia on Friday to counter President Donald Trump's plan for U.S. control of Gaza and the expulsion of its inhabitants. According to the sources, leaders would discuss a reconstruction plan counter to Trump's plan for Gaza. Friday's summit was originally planned for Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar and Jordan. However, it has been expanded to include the 6 Gulf Cooperation Council or the GCC countries and the Palestinian Authority. Well, Trump provoked international outrage when he announced that the United States would take over the Gaza Strip, moving 2.4 million Gazans living there to neighboring Egypt and Jordan, while Egypt had said it would present a plan for a way forward. And U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ordered a review of the department's 2026 budget so as to reallocate $50 billion in funds. This comes following reports that he had directed deep, multi-year cuts to military spending. Reportedly, Hegseth directed senior Defense Department leaders to plan for cuts that could slash the defense budget by 8% annually, or some $290 billion within the next 5 years. The Pentagon has described this as an effort aimed at removing funding from programs favored by former President Joe Biden and using it on those advocated by his successor, Donald Trump. Well, the U.S. government on Wednesday moved to kill New York's congestion pricing scheme designed to reduce traffic and finance public transport by imposing tolls on drivers in Manhattan, a first-in-the-nation plan President Donald Trump had vowed to quash. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said the move will halt the program that charges most drivers $9 to enter much of Manhattan and began on January 5th to provide support for the Metropolitan Transportation Authority. Well, New York Governor Kathy Hochul said that the state was ready to fight the move by the Trump administration.
I'm here to say New York hasn't labored under a king in over 250 years. And we sure as hell are not going to start now. The streets of this city where battles were fought, we stood up to a king. And we won then. And we will. In case you don't know, New Yorkers, we're in a fight. We do not back down. Not now, not ever.
Meanwhile, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority on Wednesday sued the Trump administration over its bid to kill congestion pricing program. In its statement, the authority said that the decision is for blatantly political reasons to uphold a campaign promise of President Donald Trump. Well, many commuters to New York City have welcomed Trump's decision, saying that it will be easy on their pockets.
It's a catch-22, right? Because then you're stuck with traffic, but it's easier on your pocket.
It's not. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing?
How come? Yeah. She's charging me too much money on my Easy Pass.
That is going to attract the passenger to come in knowing that the taxes are not going to be more than the fare.
And still to come on DD India News. German political parties continue to strive for influence and power ahead of snap national elections scheduled for February 23rd. South Africa takes T20 presidency amid global spotlight, but US absence clouds future. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lepakshi Khurana, and moving on, a potential trade war is brewing between the United States and the European Union. The EU has issued a strong warning to Washington, vowing to respond firmly and swiftly if the US imposes new tariffs on European goods. But is there still room for negotiation? Here's a report by DD India's Harshita Roy. It's a standoff that threatens to snowball into a terrible economic avalanche which can engulf everything in its wake. Impact is sure to be felt by businesses, workers, and consumers on both sides of the Atlantic. Europe has made it clear it will not back down if Washington moves forward with tariff hikes.
To protect European interests, we will have no choice but to respond firmly and swiftly. But we do hope to avoid this scenario, meaning the unnecessary pain of measures and countermeasures, and remain committed to constructive dialogue.
A sudden unilateral move from Washington could trigger a trade war, disrupting exports and economic stability, something neither side can afford.
With regards to EU-US trade relations, the overall picture is very balanced, providing a robust level playing field for businesses on both sides of the pond. The average EU duty on US goods is 0.9%, whereas EU exports to the US face an average tariff of 1.5%. For certain products, the level of duties varies, but tariff peaks exist on both sides.
If Washington moves forward, multiple sectors will bear the brunt. Germany's car industry is already raising alarm bells, warning that higher tariffs could lead to steeper costs for American drivers. Meanwhile, European officials stress that both sides need to act responsibly. The EU is leaving the door open for negotiation.
So if we are going to talking about lowering the tariffs, even eliminating the tariffs, let's say for industrial products, this would be something which we are ready to discuss. We are ready to go for it. We are ready to discuss.
US President Trump has threatened sweeping reciprocal tariffs on allies and adversaries alike. The White House is reportedly considering new levies tailored to each trading partner based on their existing duties on American goods. The stakes are high. The EU and US together account for nearly 30% of global trade. That dominant share might also become one of casualties of the tariff war. Harshita Oberoi, DD India. Well, French Prime Minister Francois Bayrou survived a sixth no-confidence vote since taking office on December 13th last year, after lawmakers in the National Assembly rejected a motion from the Socialist. The no-confidence vote, initiated by the Socialist Party, received only 181 votes in the French National Assembly, far below the 289 needed to unseat Bayrou. The PS launched the no-confidence vote on Monday in protest against Bayrou's use of the term migratory submersion. The left-wing party accused him of accelerating France's political and moral decline. Well, the far-right party National Rally had previously announced that it would not support the no-confidence vote. A majority of MPs from the socialist group PS leave the chamber in the French National Assembly during a debate on the motion of censure that they themselves had tabled. Well, German voters are all set to elect a new lower house of parliament on Sunday with migration, the economy and conflict on their minds. Let's take a look at key parties contesting the elections there.
In the heart of Europe lies Germany, a country known for its rich history, cultural diversity and strong democratic values. The political landscape in Germany is as vibrant and dynamic as its citizens, with several major political parties vying for influence and power. Let's take a look at key parties and their promises. Germany has two centrist big tent parties, Scholz's center-left Social Democrats and the opposition Conservatives, an alliance of the Christian Democrats, CDU, and their Bavarian sister party, the Christian Social Union. However, they have just lost support in recent years, with smaller parties such as the Environmental Greens and the far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD, gaining ground. The SPD, Conservatives, Greens and AfD are all fielding candidates for Chancellor. Also running are the pro-market Free Democrats, FDP, the far-left Linked and the leftist Sacha Wagenknecht alliance, who are all at risk of missing the 5% threshold to make it into parliament, according to opinion polls. In Germany, parties only win seats in parliament if they obtain 5% or more of the votes. Let's take a look at Germany's major political parties. The Christian Democratic Union, the CDU. Leader, Friedrich Merz. Ideology, Christian democracy, conservatism. Position, center-right. Key policies, economy, finance, migration and border control, security, climate, social policies. Social Democratic Party. Leaders, Lars Klingbeil. Chairperson, Saskia Esken, party leader. Ideology, social democracy. Position, center-left. Key policies, social justice, workers' rights, progressive social policies. The Greens. Leaders, Franziska Brandner, Felix Vanasak. Ideology, green politics, social liberalism. Position, center to center-left. Key policies, environmental protection, climate change, social equality. Free Democratic Party. Leader, Christian Lindner. Ideology, liberal. Position, center-right. right. Key policies: individual freedom, free market economy, lower taxes. Alternative for Germany, AfD. Leader Tino Trupala, Alice Weidel. Ideology: right-wing populism, national conservatism. Position: far right. Key policies: Euroscepticism, anti-immigration, climate change denial. The left, Die Linke. Leader Katja Kipping, Bernd Rixinger. Ideology: left-wing politics. Position: far left. Key policies: social justice, anti-capitalism, welfare state expansion. Budnis Sahara Wagenknecht. Chairperson Sarah Wagenknecht. Amira Mohammed Ali. It is a populist party that blends left-leaning economic policies with conservative migration and pro-Russian foreign policy initiatives. Germany's political landscape is a testament to its vibrant democracy, where diverse ideologies coexist and compete. Each party brings its unique perspective and solutions to the table, reflecting the rich tapestry of German society. As the nation continues to evolve, these political forces will shape its future, ensuring that democracy remains robust and resilient. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, moving on, ousted South Korean leader Yoon Suk-yeol's lawyer on Thursday said his bid to impose martial law was aimed at thwarting a legislative dictatorship by the opposition-controlled parliament. The statement came as the president became the country's first sitting head of state to stand trial in a criminal case. The 64-year-old former prosecutor has been behind bars since he was arrested last month on charges of insurrection, for which he could be sentenced to life in prison or face the death penalty. They argued on Thursday against releasing him from the detention facility where he has been held since mid-January, saying Yoon could try and influence or persuade those involved in the case. Separately, South Korea's Constitutional Court is deliberating whether to formally remove Yoon from office following his impeachment by Parliament in December. If Yoon is removed from office, the country must hold fresh presidential elections within 60 days. Well, former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has been charged with leading a plan to overthrow the government after losing the 2022 election. Prosecutor General Paulo Gonet accused Bolsonaro and 33 others of forming a criminal organization to keep him in power. The plan allegedly included poisoning President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva and attacking democracy. Rogério Maranhão, the head of the Liberal Party, declared Bolsonaro's coup plot charges unconstitutional. Well, the charges come after a 2-year police investigation into the election-denying movement that culminated in riots with Bolsonaro supporters in the capital in early 2023, a week after President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva took office. And UN Security Council members met at the United Nations on Wednesday in hopes of averting the widening conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Intensifying violence in the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of the Congo continues to displace thousands as the Rwanda-backed M23 armed group threatens to march on the distant capital, Kinshasa. Well, head of the UN stabilization mission in the Democratic Republic of the Congo briefed the Security Council, warning of escalating violence and deepening humanitarian concerns. Also, UN Secretary General's Special Envoy for the Guest Lakes region also briefed the Council, warning that the crisis could spill over through the region as history is repeating itself. Also, Rwanda has rejected allegations from Congo, the United Nations and Western powers that it supports M23 with arms and troops. Well, a historic moment for South Africa as it takes over the G20 presidency, a platform that represents 85% of the global GDP and 2/3 of the world's population. But with the US absent, citing concerns over South Africa's expropriation of private property, the road ahead is anything but smooth. Tripti Tripathi reports for more.
We have a responsibility to do better. It is with this hope that I pass the mallet of the presidency of the G20 to President Ramaphosa.
Thank you.
South Africa's G20 presidency was expected to bring a renewed focus on the challenges faced by poorer nations. But with Washington choosing to skip the summit, citing policy concerns, political experts believe this could undermine South Africa's leadership.
The Trump administration are doing is to throw South Africa's presidency of the G20 into a tailspin. They also may want to get American companies and American investors to boycott this conference.
Despite the challenges, South Africa is moving forward, focusing on solidarity, equality, and sustainability. As the first foreign ministers' meeting approaches, leaders will discuss ways to bridge inequalities. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will represent India at this summit. The key priorities for South Africa's G20 agenda includes strengthening disaster resilience, scaling up post-disaster reconstruction, ensuring debt sustainability for low-income countries, expanding debt relief measures, mobilizing finance for energy transition, securing climate finance agreements, and harnessing critical minerals for inclusive growth. President Cyril Ramaphosa remains committed to making development finance accessible, adapting to climate change, and amplifying the voice of the Global South in the world's most influential economic forum. With global economies facing multiple crises, South Africa's leadership will be tested. But the success of its G20 presidency could reshape global financial priorities for developing nations. Tripti Tripathi reporting for DD India.
And still to come, DD India News Hour. Mahakumbh Mela ends on February 26th as scheduled. Over 560 million take holy dip so far.
Timeless, boundless and infinite. The essence of faith. The soul of Sanatan culture. From the sacred confluence of Prayag, where divinity descends to earth. Witness the grandeur, the devotion, the magic. World's largest cultural and spiritual gathering, with over 450 million devotees expected to attend. Mahakumbh, India's greatest festival of faith. Exclusively on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana and time now for a quick recap of the headlines. US President Donald Trump denounces Zelenskyy as a dictator. Zelenskyy hopes talks with visiting US envoy Keith Kellogg will be constructive. A sad day ahead for Israel as it prepares to receive bodies of youngest Gaza hostages. Hamas agrees to release all remaining hostages at single swap during next phase. South Korea's impeached Yoon Suk-yeol attends first criminal trial hearing over insurrection charges, terms insurrection probe illegal. First-time MLA Rekha Gupta to script history as she takes oath as Chief Minister as Delhi's tryst with a woman at helm continues today. And Men in Blue to begin their Champions Trophy 2025 campaign as they face Bangladesh on Thursday. Well, Delhi's wait for its new Chief Minister ended on Wednesday night with the BJP naming Rekha Gupta for the top post. Rekha Gupta, who will be Delhi's fourth woman Chief Minister, will take oath on Thursday at the historic Ram Leela ground. Rekha Gupta won the Shalimar Bagh seat against AAP's Bandana Kumari and Congress's Parveen Kumar Jain. She began a political career with the ABVP student wing. In the late 1990s, she also served as the president of the Delhi University Students' Union. Gupta has held key positions in the Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha, serving as the Delhi Unit Secretary and later as the National Secretary. The official announcement was made at the BJP Legislative Party meeting in Delhi on Wednesday, setting the stage for the new leadership. Well, the BJP swept the February 5th Assembly elections, winning 48 out of 70 seats and ousting the Aam Aadmi Party. Many union ministers and chief ministers have congratulated Rekha Gupta on becoming the chief minister. Well, 6 other leaders will also have to take oath as Delhi cabinet ministers. These include Parvesh Verma, Ashish Sood, Manjinder Singh Sirsa, Ravinder Indraj Singh, Kapil Mishra and Pankaj Kumar Singh. BJP's Jat face in the capital, Parvesh Verma defeated Arvind Kejriwal from the New Delhi seat in the Delhi Assembly elections. He will take oath as the Deputy Chief Minister of the national capital. The BJP came back to power in Delhi after 27 years as election results were announced on 8th of February. And for more on this, we have Anil Thomas joining us from Delhi. Well, Anil, with the BJP's landslide victory in the recent elections and the rise of Rekha Gupta to the top post as Delhi's Chief Minister, she's the 4th woman to hold this position. Tell us about the swearing in today.
Well, good morning, Lepakshi. Well, the atmosphere at the Ramlila ground is electrifying for the simple reason you've seen people slowly. 30 minutes ago, this particular ground was not buzzing, but now the ground is buzzing with activity. And one can understand, this particular win that BJP has got has come after a 27-year wait. The last time BJP had won was in 93. They lost power in 98. So this particular win is very much memorable. And making it memorable is also, bringing the rich Delhi culture and heritage to the fore in this vote-taking ceremony. The party has left no stone unturned in doing that. The Chief Minister, Rekha Gupta, has had a long political career in various formats, right from student leadership in DU to governance that she did, governance model in municipal corporations, and now political expertise that she has over the last 1 decade clearly makes her easily or positions her well to navigate the complexities that Delhi administration offers. And I think that's going to be the bigger challenge that she faces is how to fulfill the promises that have been made, the issues regard to air and water that Delhi faces, and many other promises that the government or the political party has made in the elections. How to fulfill that will be a big challenge for her. But I think the experience that she holds her good as she moves ahead in this journey.
All right, Anil, thank you so much for all those details. And now to the latest from the Mahakumbh, the largest gathering of humans anywhere on the planet. Well, as the Mahakumbh 2025 set to conclude on the 26th of February enters its final phase, Prayagraj has witnessed a massive influx of pilgrims over the past 4 days, with their numbers surpassing 10 million. The Kumbh, which began on January 13th, the total number of pilgrims who have taken a holy dip has reached nearly 560 million till date. The Prayagraj administration and police have once again implemented extensive security measures to ensure the smooth movement of pilgrims in the area. Visitors arriving from other cities must park their vehicles at designated lots on the city's outskirts and travel to the Kumbh Mela site using government transport or other available modes, including unauthorized motorcycle services operating in the district. While inside the Kumbh area, pilgrims are not allowed to remain in one place or at the ghats for an extended period, with the Kumbh administration ensuring a continuous flow of movement. Meanwhile, Mahakumbh is not being extended, categorically dismissing related rumours. District Magistrate of Prayagraj has said that the schedule of the religious event will remain unchanged. The DM said the dates are based on auspicious alignment of stars and specific timings, and thus the Mahakumbh Mela will conclude on its pre-scheduled date of 26th of February. Well, a young man from central state of Madhya Pradesh, Rudra Patel, travelled to the Mahakumbh on skates promoting Sanatan Dharma. Patel has so far travelled more than 5,000 kilometres with the Indian flag. He set out on an all-India tour to create awareness for cow protection. Starting this journey from Katni, Madhya Pradesh, he has reached Sangam city of Prayagraj after visiting the 12 Jyotirlingas from Andhra Pradesh. And India's southern state of Telangana will host the Miss World pageant this year. Telangana outnumbered Dubai in taking the top slot for conducting this prestigious event. The announcement was made by Chairperson and CEO of Miss World Limited, Julia Mole, along with Secretary Tourism and Culture, Government of Telangana, Smita Sabharwal. The event will begin on May 4th and the grand opening and final ceremony will be held in Hyderabad. The other competitions between the opening and the finale will be organized at other destinations in Telangana. Julia Mole said Telangana was picked after considering its reputation for safety, hospitality and thriving international ecosystem. She said the state is an ideal destination for visitors, while Sabharwal said that the event would showcase Telangana's art forms, tourist destinations and handlooms. And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. Union Minister for Tribal Affairs, Joel Oram, lauded the proactive initiatives of the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. While addressing the gathering at the 22nd Foundation Day celebrations, Joel Oram assured that the Tribal Ministry, in collaboration with the Commission, will continue working towards ensuring a better and dignified life, social justice and holistic development for scheduled tribe communities. In a significant step towards boosting fisheries sector in Kupwara city in Jammu and Kashmir, Deputy Commissioner Ayush Sudan inaugurated a live fish vending centre at Chaukibal village under the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. The initiative aims to promote hygiene fish marketing, enhanced income generation for fish farmers and ensure the availability of fresh fish to the consumers. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Microsoft unveils new chip which it says could lead to more stable quantum computers. And we'll show you visuals of the world's largest collection of cricket memorabilia.
Welcome to Jaipur.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Dipakshi Khurana, and on to some business news now. Microsoft on Wednesday unveiled a new chip that it said showed quantum computing is years, not decades away. Microsoft said that it could transform everything from fighting pollution to developing new medicines, joining Google and IBM in arguing that the promise of quantum computing is closer to reality. The US-made chip called Majorana 1 can fit in the palm of a hand but packs a revolutionary design that Microsoft believes will solve one of the biggest challenges in quantum computing, making these super powerful machines reliable enough for real-world use. The company says its breakthrough was confirmed in research published on Wednesday in the scientific journal Nature.
It is small, it's less than 10 micron by 10 micron inside, and a lot of qubits really are quite a bit larger for one reason or another, usually having to do with the trying to make them stable.
Well, US stocks ended marginally higher on Wednesday, and the S&P 500 notched its second straight all-time closing high as investors scrutinized the minutes from the Federal Reserve's January policy meeting and the US latest tariff announcements. At the meeting, the US Central Bank left its key interest rate unchanged. The minutes show policymakers expressed concern about stubborn inflation and the potential effect of Trump's policy proposals. The S&P 500 gained 0.24% to end at 6,144.15 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 0.07% to 20,056.25 points. Well, you're watching DT India News. Our time now for some sports news. Rohit Sharma and his men are set to begin their quest for a second successive ICC trophy as India will start their Champions Trophy campaign against Bangladesh at the Dubai International Stadium. Indian men's cricket team journey in Champions Trophy has been impressive. With 2 titles and 4 finals in their kitty, the men in blue will be looking to add another feather in their cap in 2025.
Led by Rohit Sharma, Team India enters the competition as a top contender, boasting a well-balanced squad featuring stalwarts like Virat Kohli, Shubman Gill and Shreyas Iyer, along with a formidable all-round unit. Team India has enjoyed a rich history in Champions Trophy, winning the title twice and reaching 4 finals in 8 editions. India has an impressive history in the Champions Trophy, having won the tournament twice in 2002 and in 2013 under MS Dhoni's captaincy. In 2013, India was undefeated throughout the tournament. In the first 2 Champions Trophies, India performed well but got knocked out in the playoffs. Sourav Ganguly's team reached the final but fell short against New Zealand, losing by 4 wickets in the year 2000. The 2004 to 2009 period saw India go through a rough patch as they faced group stage exit in 3 consecutive Champions Trophies. India bounced back in 2013 and reached the final in 2017 but faced a crushing defeat against Pakistan in the final. Placed in Group A, India began their Champions Trophy campaign against Bangladesh on 20th February. They will go on to face arch rivals Pakistan in a much anticipated contest on 23rd February and play their final group stage match against New Zealand on March 2. India holds a strong record against Bangladesh in ICC tournaments and will look to continue their dominance. In terms of key battles, Rohit Sharma's battle against Mustafizur Rahman will be crucial as the left-arm pacer has troubled Indian batsmen in the past. Another matchup to watch will be Virat Kohli facing Taskin Ahmed's express pace. On the other side, India's young pacer Arshdeep Singh will look to make early inroads against Bangladesh's aggressive opener Liton Das. With high stakes and passionate fan bases, the return of Champions Trophy promises to be an exciting affair. Sports Desk, DD India.
Well, yesterday, a clinical New Zealand outplayed Pakistan by 60 runs in the opening game of the much-awaited Champions Trophy 2025 in Karachi on Wednesday. Centuries each from Tom Latham and Will Young, alongside a fiery 50 from Glenn Phillips, steered New Zealand to 320 for 5 in 50 overs. Pakistan skipper Mohammad Rizwan won the toss and opted to bowl. The decision seemed right as the host to reduce the Black Caps to 73-4-3 at one stage, but a 118-run partnership between Young and Latham turned the tide in New Zealand's favour. Well, for Pakistan, Naseem Shah was the most successful bowler with figures of 2 for 63. Pakistan struggled in the chase due to their slow start of 22 for 2 in 10 overs. Kushdil Shah and Salman Agha scored quick-fire 69 and 42, but it wasn't enough for the home team. And for more on the match, we have Narayan Singh joining us from Delhi. Well, Narayan, India has been incredibly successful. If we talk about the Champions Trophy with 2 titles and 4 finals, how important this time is it for Rohit Sharma and his team to maintain this winning momentum and add another title in 2025?
Well, good morning, Lipakshi. As you mentioned that India has a fantastic record in the ICC Champions Trophy, 2-time winners, and last time they won in 2013 in the captainship of the Rohit Sharma, in the captainship of MS Dhoni, and this time around Rohit Sharma is the captain of the team, and definitely we are hoping that the way he captained the team in the T20 World Cup that was in US and West Indies, and India won that World Cup, and again, we are hoping that with the tactical acumen he has got in the past few years, that kind of captaincy he has displayed this time, we are hoping that once again India will lift the ICC Champions Trophy. Talking about his team combination, whether it was the 2023 ODI World Cup where everything was well for the India, they were unbeaten till the final, and there again in the 2024 ODI World Cup where they won with a terrific team combination. If you take a look in the T20 World Cup, India played with the 4 spinners, and here too India has the 5 spinners. Some expert posed a question over that decision to take 5 spinners to the Dubai. If you take a look at the condition in the Dubai, if the sun comes there, then the things become very dry and it helps the spinners. But if, as the reports are coming, it may be cloudy or the overcast conditions. In that case, the pace bowlers can come into the party. But all in all, we can say that in the reply to that question, when we are asked by the journalist that India will have the five, we can say the spinners there, he said that there are only 2 spinners in the squad and 3 are the all-rounders in the form of, we can say that Washington Sundar is a good, the way he has played his all-round performances in the past. And Akshar Patel, one of the fantastic find out in the recent time, the way he's playing, he's contributing with the bat also. If you take a look, the recent series against the England, where he was used as a floater, he played at the number 4.
Right.
And up the order also, he showed his talent. So all in all, India has the chances, and the way team combination is there. The way Shreyas is back in form, Shubman Gill is back in form, captain Rohit Sharma also scored a century, he's also back in form.
Right.
Everything is in place for India, but the thing is that they go there and play, execute their plans there.
All right, excellent team combination then, Narayan. But with Bangladesh as the first opponent in the tournament, talking about today's match, what are the key areas India needs to focus on to ensure a strong start to their Champions Trophy campaign?
As you mentioned that we can say that a team will play 3 matches, and even a team loses a single match, definitely their chances for the next stage will become very difficult because Bangladesh is also a tricky opponent. We know that in the past also many times they had created upsets also. So there is no room, no space for the complacency here for the team India. But we know that the Bangladesh has a strong pace attack in the form of Mustafizur Rahman, Taskeen Ahmed, and also the way Naid Rana is bowling, exceptional pace bowler they have. In the past also they relied heavily on that thing, but when their captain Shanto was asked regarding that they will fully go for the pace attack, he clearly said that no, because they too have some quality spinning all-rounders in the form of Mehdi Hasan Miraj. So that India has to tackle their pace attack, I think so. And in the past, we know that the way our middle order plays in the series against the England also, we saw that if we talk about the ODI cricket, in the middle overs between 11 to 40, it becomes quite boring. But Indian batsmen in the series against England in the past also never looked like that. They are playing very defensive cricket. They played runs, they scored runs without taking any risk. So that is the USP of the Indian in the middle overs to keep, we can say that the scoreboard going on. Exactly that will be the key for the Indian. And definitely if Rohit Sharma is back in form and the way down the order Rishabh Pant is there. And so most important thing is the 2023 World Cup where India lost the final against Australia. Yeah, this time, at that time, we don't have any left-hander in the top 6. But this time around, the way Indian team is using the Akshar Patel, the way he's batting up the order, and Rishabh Pant is also there. In that sense, we can say that they can do exceptionally well and change create the problems for the opponent bowlers. So
absolutely.
India is in right pace here, and definitely it will be difficult for Bangladesh to be against India here.
All right. All the best to Indian team out there. Thank you so much, Narayan, for giving us all those details. Well, cricket is more than just a game in India. It's an emotion. And as India kicks off its campaign in the much-awaited Champions Trophy 2025, we leave you with the visuals of the Blades of Glory Museum, which is the world's largest collection of cricket memorabilia. With over 75,000 priceless artifacts, including signed bats from every World Cup winning team since 1975, this museum is a dream come true for cricket fans. Take a look. All right, that's all for this edition of DT India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India across the world on the DT India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. Well, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.